Hello, third graders. Welcome to your first reading lesson from home. If you're listening, we are so happy you're here and we miss you. But we want you to get ready for some learning at home, which we know, Katie, Sarah, and I know is going to be very different than learning at school. But we really want you to use some self-talk to get focused and to do your best to motivate yourself to learn right now. So if you haven't already, when this video is over, we want you to try to log on to Benchmark through Clever. And your families have the direction sheets of how to do this. Our next unit that we're going to be working on is weather and climate. And the big question that we're thinking about is how can we predict the unknown? So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to read literary and informative texts that help us think more deeply about how nature inspires and challenges human beings, and what steps we take to predict and better understand it. So when this video is over, feel free to go to Benchmark and watch our video that we usually watch every unit. And then let's get started on this one. So you're looking at a text called Fair Weather Clouds. And what I'd like you to do first is quickly skim the poem. So that means just look at the words, see what you notice in the text features and photographs. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Then I'd like us to read the first couple lines. Here, after the thaw, these plains, a green sea, encircle me. Wow, those are some words that really make me visualize something in my brain. And I'm wondering what you're visualizing. What do you see when you read those words? Now I'm going to read the whole poem. And as I read, I want you to pay special attention to the words or phrases that appeal to your five senses. So what words or phrases make you see things, make you smell things, or make you want to touch things? Fair Weather Clouds by Carmen Coriolis. Here, after the thaw, these plains, a green sea, encircle me. Now I tilt my head back, splay my hands, pressing into the fresh waves of prairie. Above, the sky, the blue field, is thick with piles of cumulus cotton, ripe for picking, stuffing, and quilting, heaping and billowing about, but still bright and clean in the sun. Later, when they grow gray and nimbus, the rain will come. Ooh, now I want you to think about what images you visualized as you read. And maybe if you have a friend nearby, like a brother or sister, mom or dad, or grown-up, you can tell them what words made your senses light up, or what words or phrases grabbed your attention. For me, my attention was grabbed when I read about the cumulus cotton cloud that's ripe for picking. And the words heaping and billowing made me think of thick, fluffy clouds that are almost like a pillow. Now, this poem tells us a lot about weather. And I want you to also think about how is reading this poem different than reading a story or an informational text. Maybe you're thinking that poems really appeal to your senses and emotions. And with poetry, we can interpret it in many ways. And sometimes what we think about poetry is very personal and subjective, meaning it's your opinion when you read a poem, what you think about it. Now, what you're going to do, if you'd like, you can read this one more time to yourself, but there's going to be a question on our Google Classroom for today's literacy assignment for you to answer. We're going to ask you to write a brief response to the poem and talk about what words or phrases appealed to your senses. All right, so go over to Google Classroom and you'll find your question for our literacy lesson today.